Hi, welcome to the podcast Ease into Clarity. I'm Dr. Divi, family doctor turned intuitive coach, and I'm here to help you. In this podcast, we will learn mental techniques, emotional techniques, and spiritual techniques to change daily problems. So maybe it's your husband, your boss, your coworker, your kids, they're driving you crazy. You can email me any of your questions and I will use all the techniques I've learned over the years and help you. Grab your hot chocolate and make sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon. Ciao. Hi, it's Dr. Divi from the podcast Ease into Clarity, and welcome. In today's episode, we're going to dive deeper into the I'm not good enough wound. So you may have heard me say this story before, but I discovered that I had the wound of I'm not good enough when I was about 30 years old, 29, 30 years old. I was taking a workshop called the Landmark Forum. It was in what back then used to be called, I think, the advanced level. I think it's been called something different now. And they used to call it a racket. What is the racket that's running the back of your mind? And to be honest, it was my first self-development course. I was in my early 30s, before self-development was a hot thing. And I discovered, wow, I have this I'm not good enough voice. And most of you have heard the story. I spent literally a week crying my eyes out, beginning to end, because I was blown away at how much this voice was running my mind. But because the Landmark Forum, which I really recommend for any beginner who's new to this work, it's an amazing program. But at the time, the program didn't, in my opinion, my experience, didn't give me something else I could lean on. Over the last 20, 30 years, I have spent the rest of my time journeying and really deeply learning how to heal that voice. And in my world, the only thing that heals that voice is spirituality, your relationship with the divine, your relationship with source, your relationship with love, your relationship with all that is. Some people call it God. Some people call it spirit. Some people call it the I am energy. So whatever you want to call it, that divine I am energy, in my experience, is the only one that will help you heal it. But in order to dive into the I'm not good enough voice, I love to put things into steps. So I've created a 4-step program towards working with the I'm not good enough voice. The first step is really simple. See where it's running its show in your brain. So for example, are you hyper obsessed with your physical body, with your looks, with your hair, with, your beauty, with your marks, with your status, with the amount of money you have, and so on and so forth? Just look where that voice is showing up and write it down right now. If you're walking, of course, just make a mental note to do this exercise. But pause the podcast and write down where in your life do you feel it shows up. Maybe you're constantly comparing yourself to the Joneses. Maybe you continuously think that that other person is prettier than you. Maybe your mind goes constantly to the past where you've missed out on that first boyfriend. Maybe you're constantly judging yourself and judging your appearance and so on and so forth. Where does the I'm not good enough come in? And just take a minute and write that down. Step 2. See it for what it is. It's a voice. And I always talk about observing it. What do I mean by observing it? Imagine that you and I are sitting on the grass in a beautiful day, and we're looking up at the stars and we're going, wow, we're so lucky to be alive. Those stars and the black skies are gorgeous. They twinkle and they sparkle, and they're gorgeous. And they seem so far away. Now I want you to imagine you're sitting on the stars and looking down at you. I just want you to be with yourself for a minute. From this angle of the stars, I want you to observe your mind. Notice that as you do this, you'll begin to notice that you're not your thoughts. I want you to see your thoughts like those little clouds that occur above your head, but they don't define who you are. They're just clouds that come and go, that drift by on the blue sky. They don't mean anything. Just see them, observe them. So step 1, see where it occurs in your life. Step 2, see it as a voice and observe it. Step 3, have some compassion for it. You're sitting in the stars, and you're looking down at you, and you're like part of the galaxy, part of the universe, and you're like, wow, that little person down there, he's really consumed with this thought that she's not a size 2. He's really consumed with the thought that he hasn't met his goals of his life. Just have some compassion for yourself for a few minutes. Just breathe and see and observe yourself. Have compassion. And step 4, I believe, is the most important step. If you can, close your eyes for a minute and take these words in. You, my friend, are a child of God. You're a child of the divine, child of love, child of spirit. You are source in a human body. You're born eternally smart, eternally beautiful, eternally conscious, and beautifully aware. And just breathe into that. Breathe into the observer or the witness. And now breathe into the truth. I'm not this body. I'm not these thoughts. I am much more than that. And from this place of the witness consciousness, can you own who you are in truth? I am. I am. I am. I am love. I am the divine. I am the creator. I am the creator of my world, my universe. I am. And from that place of the observer and the truth, can you forgive yourself for the thought that you're not enough? Just see those clouds of thoughts above your head and begin to practice the forgiveness. Forgive me. Forgiveness, set me free. Forgiveness, set me free. Forgiveness, set me free. Take a few breaths here. When you realize you are not your thoughts, you're much more than your thoughts. When you realize that you are the witness, the divine I am, the consciousness of love, you begin to realize the futility of the thoughts, I'm not enough, and you start to forgive them. So again, the 4 steps. See where that voice shows up in your head. Step 2, see it as a voice, observe it. Step 3, have compassion for it. Step 4, step into the divine I am, the truth of who you are, and let forgiveness set me free. Forgive it, forgive it, forgive it. Hope that helps you today. I'm sending you lots of love. Till next time, namaste. Thank you so much for joining me in this podcast, Ease into Clarity. It is such a joy, pleasure, and honor to be in your living room. What I would love is if you follow me on Instagram, drdivi, or go to my website, drdivi.com, or write a review. That would be even more amazing. Thank you. If you really enjoyed this podcast, feel free to share it with friends, family, tell them to follow me, because I think the more of us that listen to the fact that each of us can start to shift, each of us can shift mental things, emotional things, spiritual shift, to shift our daily reality. When more and more of us do it, we get a better planet. We get more love. We get more happiness. We get more joy. So I'd love it if you followed. I'd love it if you shared this, because it would be such a joy and an honor. And again, if you have a question, guess what? I'm here for you. So send me an email, easeintoclarity@gmail.com. And as they come in, I will answer them in podcasts that are subsequent, whether it be your boss, your relationship, your husband, whatever. That's what I'm here for. Because the more of us that learn really simple mental techniques, really simple spiritual techniques, we change the physical reality we live in. Pretty soon we have more peace, more ease, more joy, trickling across the whole world. Remember, there's a spiritual solution for every problem. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.